winner of this series goes up against Papi in the upper semifinals. Let's go. Let us go. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Golden Aura, we have the last non-Protoss hope. The red Polish Zerg player representing Twisted Minds. It is Aristori. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the purple Polish Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Rodzyn. Now, it was foretold. When I saw this tournament, when I saw this bracket, I'm like, PvP semis. 100%. PvP all around. No, there's no shot that it's going to be stopped. It's going to be denied. So far, that is the case. Can Aristori do it? Can we pull this off? Can we somehow bring down Rodzyn and stop the non-stop PvPs? Is it possible? We'll see. We'll see, Papi. We'll see. Again, Aristori, he needs your energy and your support. Otherwise, Rodzyn needs your energy and your support if you want the non-stop PvPs. Which, to be fair, it is going to be a lot of fun. You know, I do love me some PvPs. Don't get me wrong. Part of me would like diversity, but the other part of me is like, no, bring the nonsense. Let's go. Let us go. So far, it is going to be a hatch gas pool standard opener from Aristori. Likewise, Rodzyn going for a gate expand into the cybercore. Everything is looking normal for the time being. Now, I don't really get to cast Aristori as much as I would like. We usually cover Trifax during these events, or maybe a laser as well. Aristori has been putting in a lot of work, though, when it comes to not just being a player, but also contributing to the scene. Aristori, I think he hosts some show match, sometimes some tournaments as well. He does stream over on his own channel, so much love here to Aristori. Because of that, part of me, like, whenever I think of Aristori, I think of like a content creator, just because he does that so much and he hosts his own events. But maybe I shouldn't really like have that thought. Like, Aristori is still, you know, he's on a pro team, he's on Twisted Minds, and he's still a good player in his own right. So I want to believe that he can fight back, that he can make a series out of this. We've been seeing a lot of 2-0s. Can we get a 2-1? Or even, you know, just a straight up win here for Zerg. We'll see. Third base is on the way. Behind this, we're soon getting our first unit of choice. Our tech is going to be a Stargate opener. From here, we can go Oracle or Void Ray or even Phoenix. They all have their place in this. And again, I don't get to cast as much Rodzyn PvZ as I would like, so we'll see what he's fond of. Oracle first would be for a more economic opener. Based on the rally, it looks like maybe a... Okay, never mind. I was going to say a Void Ray to shut down the Overlord, but now it's rather across the map. Oracle. Oracle opener out of Rodzyn. This is going to be leading into a third base, into a second Oracle, into a third Oracle, into Twilight Council and Forge. Everything is looking by the book. There it is. Third base is soon to be taken by our Protoss player. Catching up with the chat. Reaper. Oracle is going to be moving out. What ELO is this? Around like 6k. These are all GMs. All GMs, Papi. All around 6k. I don't know if that means anything. I don't know if 6k means anything to you, but there you go. As Oracles are moving out, we have our first, soon to be second Oracle in the field, making our way towards the mineral lines. Behind this, it is going to be a Forge and a Twilight Council, as I mentioned before. This should be for Blink and +1. Should be for a standard transition here from Rodzyn. As the Oracles head into that third base, the Queens are in position so far. Aristori not losing anything. Nicely done. Good positioning here from our players. But now we're up to 3 Oracles here. A lot of firepower, a lot of DPS is available. We can even if we come across a couple of Queens, we can focus them down as well. So Aristori has to take it seriously. Spore is finishing up in the main. 2 Queens in position. Spore at the natural. Spore at the third as well. So not cutting any corners. And Rodzyn doesn't find any drones. So far, so good. And Aristori is going to be able to establish his fourth base without too much issue. Again, his economy has been left untouched for the time being. What I should emphasize, though, is that even though Rodzyn hasn't killed anything yet, he also hasn't lost anything. His oracles, they're full of HP. They've only taken shield damage. Full of NG as well. They can still gain value. They could even try and deny the hatchery. They're going for it. They're going for the fourth base, and we should be forcing a cancel here. The queen's going to try to rotate over. They're going to try to keep this alive, but alas, it shouldn't be enough, and the fourth should go down. We force the cancel. Nice pickoff here. Good pickoff from Rodzyn, making up for the lack of drones that he hasn't been able to kill. Behind this, Rodzyn getting up to a 3-base economy. Again, there's Blink and +1 on the production tab. No gateways, or like very few gateways to work with here. We're getting up to 5 gates, which means it's looking like a tech-heavy composition. There we go. Fourth is on the way. We are going into Swarm Hosts. Aristori. I did notice that the infestation bit, and I assumed that we were going to be taking up into Hive Tech, but no, we're going Swarm Hosts instead. Very bold move. Very old school as well. I'm ready for it. So, Swarm Host-based builds are a thing in this matchup, and we have seen them from players like Dark and players like Dark and players like Dark. But usually it's reserved, and I haven't seen them do it this season. It was a lot more prevalent last season, specifically against charge openers, charge or Archon. So if the Protoss player were to go for charge lots, then this could work very well. Against Blink Stalkers, a little bit less so. Speaking of, Blink is done. We do avoid those Locust Waves. And more Swarmers are on the way. They have been revealed. They have been spotted by Rodzyn. Now, the reason why I say that this is typically done against Charge or Archon-based compositions is because Archons and Charge Lots are very immobile. I mean, sure, Charge is a thing, but like, it's still very immobile compared to Blink Stalkers. So you can abuse that army. You can pick off bases, get into mineral lines, and have a lot of map control. Against Blink Stalkers, less so. If these Swarm Hosts are ever caught out, then we can just dive. We can just dive on top of them, focus them down as well. So a very delicate dance here for Aristori. He has a lot invested into these Swarm Hosts. He has to keep them alive. So far, he hasn't really been able to trade too efficiently. He hasn't gained too much value yet, but now we're pushing. Now we are moving on now to Aristori. He's got 13 Swarm Hosts. Stalker's a bit of a move command. Oh my, massive move command here. We do get on top of 1, 2 of those, oh my, 3 of those even. 3 Swarm Hosts go down. Decent pickoffs, but we took a lot of damage. I don't think that was quite worth it. As the wave of Locusts are on the way, Safe Traps being thrown down. And these Safe Traps, they could go up. And they catch some of the Locusts. But again, we're just forcing back that Stalker army. We're getting into the 4th base as well. Zoning them away from the mineral line, and probes are falling. 6 workers going down. It's going to be a one-way trip. We're going to clean up every single one of these roaches. Overcharges popped. We have a massive open of Zealots, and was this worth it in the end? We get 12 worker kills, but we lose everything. Every single roach, every single Ravager goes down. The Swarm Host did survive, but we did lose 3 of them. There are how many? 10 Swarm Hosts left. We've got 6 more on the way. And we're getting ready for Wave 2. This time, though, we're up against Charge Lots and Stalkers, and we do catch the army! Oh god! Oh, Locust Wave does go off. And Rodzyn, he has to be careful. As Aristori is going to be rotating over towards the left-hand side. It looks like these roaches are getting caught out. Locust Wave unable to achieve much of anything. It was wasted, and now this army is looking very vulnerable. Yeah, we snipe another Locust Wave, or sorry, another Swarm Host. Oracle's being forced back. Oh, the roaches are trading. I'm pretty sure we want to wait for Locust Waves before we attack with roaches, as a Zealot counterattack going to deny the 5th. Cancel. Oh, that's going to be a kill, not a cancel. Uh-oh. Blink Stalkers, they dive in once again. They force out more Locusts. Ravage is getting picked up as well. These are expensive losses. But again, desperately, we want to try to take down the base or the mineral line. The Locust say we're on A move. Queens are going down. The Oracle's going ham here on these Swarm Hosts as well. The Miles. Oh my god. Very nicely done. Very nice Miles there from Aristori. But again, we're just trading too poorly here. So many Ravagers getting picked off. I mean, in saying that, we do have a good economy. We have an okay economy, and maybe we're trading well enough. Can we snowball out of control? Can we break this base? Do we have a storm? We do. Oh my god. Big storm on these roaches. We're trying to focus down as many of these High Templar as we can, but another storm does zone back the army. Oh my god. The storms. Rodzyn, he should be able to hold on here. And Rodzyn, he has a better economy compared to his opponent. The one thing going Aristori's way, just be very careful. Aristori, he's up in supply, but the soup does lie, especially with this composition. Because the roaches are inflated supply, and whenever these swarm hosts are on cooldown, or off cooldown, they are dead supply as well. So, numbers may look good for Aristori, but it is very deceiving. Again, whenever these swarm hosts don't have a Locust Wave available, like, things can swing very heavily in favor of the Protoss. But here we go, Aristori. Now he's going to be rotating over towards the right-hand side. He's going for the 4th base. There we go. Big Locust Wave, and this should kill the Nexus. This is finally the moment that we've been waiting for. Yeah, Locust Wave comes in, and the Nexus is going to go down. The DPS is just too damn high. And Aristori now is in the driver's seat. Up until this point, he wasn't really able to touch too much of the economy, but now he has. Oh. As we trade a base for a base, the Zealot Rumbai comes in, gets a kill on the 4th. It's going to be 3 base versus 3 base. Ay. This is still very scrappy. Rodzyn, sorry, Aristori has maxed out. This is true. We don't have too many Stalkers. Locust Wave is coming in. We're gonna have to back up. Gonna have to respect it. We'll have to retreat. A decent storm in the army. But many storms are forced out. We have so many High Templar behind this. But here comes another Locust Wave. That's just how many Swarm Hosts we have. How many? 18 Swarm Hosts in total. Jesus. In the blink of an eye, 8 probes go down. Forcing a storm as well. At the same time, we do hit that 4th base, containing Rodzyn to 3 bases. That is the win condition here for Aristori. And again, another Locust Wave is available, and now next this base is going to go down. Aristori, he just has too much momentum on his side. Locust Wave comes in, and we do get on top of the Nexus again. And that is going to be the kill move. Rodzyn knocked down to 2 bases. 2 bases left. The Miles, they connect. And Aristori, he has pulled this off. And now he can go for the army. Now he can collapse here for a surround. Miles, they take down an Archon. And they're going for the High Templar. Oh no. Get out of here. 1 High Templar goes down. Almost an Immortal as well. This is too late. I'm fond of this, going into Void Rays. So you can see Rodzyn's trying to produce an army. He's supply blocked. I'm fond of the Void Rays. I do think it's too little too late at this point. We needed this far sooner here. Committing into a more Skytoss heavy composition. We only have 3 Oracles. Even committing into Mass Oracle would have helped as well. Or just supplementing the army with Oracles even. Like these, you can see how much damage they're getting done. They're doing well for themselves. But it's too late. We're down to 2 bases, down to 1 base economy essentially. And Aristori, he's getting out of control. He's getting everything back up and running, remaxing already. Swarm is coming in from the right-hand side. We have Flux Veins in production, Fleet Beacon, making 2 Void Rays at a time. It does feel like Rodzyn, this is an answer that he's finally arrived at, but just a little bit too late. Where he's like, oh, you know what, this works. But just took a little bit too long to get here. And to arrive to this as 12 more workers go down, 13 even. see Aristori getting ready for a push here on the right-hand side. There is a lot of storms available. If only this was like a Hydra-based composition as we catch an Immortal. Oof. Files, they connect a takedown and an Observer. Meanwhile, at the same time, another Roach counterattack Locust Wave is coming in. We're threading the High Templar. We get one full energy as well. The Immortals, another High Templar. And Rodzyn is just being pulled apart at this point. It's just too much. Another High Templar gets focused. We're getting into carrier production. Again, it's just... if only this was happening when we were on 4 bases. As we dive on top of this, Hydras have arrived as well. So many Stalkers going down. Every High Templar as well. How many High Templar have died? 9 already. As well as all these Archons. That was a kill on this Nexus. And Aristori, he's fighting back. He says no to the PvPs. Not this time, not this week. GG gets called and Aristori will take game number 1. GG. GG, Aristori flexing a little bit here with his Swarm Toss style. Again, a little bit more of an older style here. I think this is the first time... no, never mind. I was going to say I think this is the first time I've seen Swarm Host in this matchup this season. But I've seen a couple of Zerg players go Swarm Host on Raz's Station. I think it was Lambo. Lambo went Swarm Host against Max Pax on Raz's Station as well. I think that was the last time. That was like a month ago. Maybe in WTL. Maybe 2 months ago at this point. Maybe 2 months ago. But yeah, it's not something you see too often. So I do appreciate it. Always appreciate seeing these more unique compositions. And with that, Aristori does take a lead. Here we go. We're going to be getting into game number 2. See the chat. I'm here for any Swarm Host play. Yeah, let's go. And sporting in the bottom right hand corner of Hardland, we have the Polish Zerg player, the Red Zerg, leading the series 1-0, representing Twisted Minds. It is Aristori. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the purple Polish Protoss player representing the Platinum Heroes down in the series, looking to fight back. It is Rodzyn. Here we go. As we're going to be settling on in to game number 2. Now, I'm curious if Aristori is willing to go Swarmhost again in game number 2 as well. Just because his playstyle was very much so momentum-based. Like, it was very imperative that Aristori was able to get its first Swarmhost across the map and get value with them and to try to snowball out of control. Eventually he did. It took a while, but eventually he was able to snipe some bases. What I'm concerned about if Aristori does commit to Swarmhost is that it did look like over the course of that game, Rodzyn was getting a better idea of how to deal with it, specifically Sky Toss. And I do think that if we do see Swarmhost again, Rodzyn is going to be much more mentally prepared and just willing to transition out of those Blink Stalkers and into, a more Sky Toss heavy composition. So I expect something different this time out of Aristori. I expect something different, but we'll see. We shall see. Meanwhile, big shout out to Kuro rocking up in the chats. Neo Reno, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Thank you for the thank you. And welcome Aztecs. Did see you earlier. Earlier today. The days are blending together. I think you were competing in Kung Fu Cup, right? Against Dark? Yeah. So you're in Kung Fu Cup earlier today. Bienvenidos. Hope you had a good time. Hope you had a solid series there. So getting ready for our next game. So we're getting ready to dive into this, and it is going to be once again a Stargate opener from Rodzyn. Standard stuff. Stargate opener. Likewise, Aristori going for his third base. Link speed is on the way. We're pulling out of gas as well. We're just going to be droning, and everything is just looking as it should. Remember, last game, Rodzyn did go and commit into Oracles, but didn't really achieve too much with it. He was able to deny the 4th, but didn't really kill too many workers. I was impressed. Very impressed with Aristori's defense overall. But outside of that, outside of getting the 4th, the Oracles were a little bit lackluster. But against start, game 1 actually was pretty good. Oh, let's go. I killed 3 queens with my Archon drop, and I held this push with Warp Prism Micro. I'm proud. Let's go, let's go. Good to hear, good to hear. How are you? I'm a little bit tired. We just wrapped up Kung Fu Cup, and now we're going straight into the House Open Cup. I'm looking forward to veg after this. I'm looking forward to it. As we get ready for the weekend. But now though, 3rd is on the way. Once again, going to be an Oracle opener, into a 2nd, into a 3rd Oracle behind this. We're going to be threatening the mineral lines here of Aristori. Dipping into that natural as well. But the queens are in position, already shaving off the shields here of that Oracle. Rodzyn not really finding too much damage here. But it's okay, because we have additional Oracles. Additional Oracles are coming out. The question really becomes, as we get into the mid game, what are we going to be working with? We are loading into hard lead, and hard lead has a very short rush distance by ground. It is very commonplace here to go for roach based all-ins off of a 3 base or even sub 3 base economy. We are going to be getting up to 53 drones here. We'll see if we cut workers at 60. We'll see if we do drone up a little bit further and get a 4th base. If not, we could cut workers a little bit earlier. We could commit to aggression. For now though, Triple Oracle into Twilight Council and Forge. Rodzyn is playing standard off of this. So standard opener here. This should be +1 on Blink Stalkers. Likewise, Oracles are moving out. Aristori getting 2 layers. Hopefully we can cancel one of them soon, as Oracles are soon to arrive. Coming in, they do get eyes on the queens. They get 2 drones. Pretty good damage so far. As Oracles are going to be racing back home. We get the Revelation off. We get eyes on both. Oh, he's letting him know. Oh, he's a nice guy. Dobra. Shout out to Rodzyn. He just told him you have 2 layers, and Aristori just thanked him. Jackie. Less than 3. Good guy, Rodzyn. If he wanted to, he could have let him finish. Could have let him finish both. Hydra Den is on the way. Nice guy. I just checked the bracket. Lots of Protoss. Yeah, a lot of Protoss. A lot of them. Cool. As the Oracles, they do get into the main base. They take down one of those queens. Oh my god. A queen. They get 3 more drones as well. Good damage done here from Rodzyn. As Aristori, we can see our tech of choice. This time we are avoiding the roaches. We are avoiding Swarm Host. We're going Ling Hydra instead. Up against Blink Stalkers, a pretty powerful composition. This can struggle against Charged Archon. Can definitely struggle. And even especially against Glaive Adept follow-ups as well. But straight up against Blink Stalkers, this can do well. So Aristori taking a bit of a chance. Looking at the vision here of Rodzyn, he was unable to scout, unable to confirm what was going on. Is pushing out with his Stalkers, is soon about to run into Hydras and Lings. And here we go. Rodzyn is going to be pushing. Now for the first time, getting eyes on the Hydras. He's going to back off, he's going to respect it. Lings are going down. We're getting us on the Hydras though. Where are the Lings? Not too many Lings here so far. Good control out of Aristori. He's going to be pulling back. He's going to be trading well, but Clutch Transfuse. We keep the Hydras alive. We get on top of the Stalkers. And Aristori will hold. Again, that was 3 Hydras, 10 Lings for 7 Stalkers. A much better trade here for the Zerg. The Lings, they did a great job here buffering. Essentially just 3 Hydras for 7 Stalkers. Behind this, Rodzyn is teching. He's going into a 2nd Robo and Colossus production, but it's going to take some time. It's going to take some time to take into this. He's trying to be as aggressive as possible. He's being in the face of Aristori. But the Lings, they come in for a surround. Ooh, big stasis trap. We catch a lot of Lings. Despite that, Aristori just bullying Rodzyn back. And honestly, Rodzyn is vulnerable. He's very vulnerable at the moment. He is still waiting for his Robos to finish up, still waiting for his Colossus production, and Aristori is going to be the first to max. He's knocking down these rocks, and he's going to be pushing. Rocks are being knocked down. We're cutting workers here at 75. We have a solid, almost 4 base economy. 5th base is on the way. 1-1 about to kick in. And Aristori, we can commit. There is one stage strat behind this. How good is it going to be? It has to be amazing. Can it catch some of the Hydras? Not quite. Not quite, as the base is going to fall. That's going to be a kill, not a cancel on the Nexus. And Aristori is going to stutter step forward, getting on top of the Stalkers as well. Charge has finished. Delta going to be coming in. Colossus is still on the way. If we can somehow survive long enough to get into Colossi, then maybe we can hold, but that's going to be a kill on the Cyber Core. No more Stalkers, no more Adepts, no more Sentries. The Colossi have arrived, and we are committing on the right-hand side. Yeah, we're stutter stepping forward, picking up whatever we can. The Colossus! Oh my god. We thought about diving on them. But Aristori is going to retreat. Again, he has to respect the Colossus. But he still traded so well. He killed the Nexus, killed the base. The probe count's still looking solid here for the Protoss, but just doesn't have the bases to mine from. And Aristori from here, he can back off, he can take up. Infestation bits on the way. There's going to be for Hive Tech, for eventually Vipers as well, if we need them. For now, though, Aristori, he can focus on maxing out on Link Hydra and push out again. Now, for the next attack, we're not going to have 2 Colossus. We're going to have 4. 3rd and 4th Colossus are on the way. They're almost done. And 4 Colossi is a big power spike for the Protoss. It's going to be a big moment for him. He's going to be hoping that maybe the Link Hydra crashes into him, as Rodzyn is taking up even further. Templar Archives on the way. Aristori should be working towards Hydra Lurker Viper. No Lurker Den yet. That is a bit of a misstep. We should be seeing it soon, in line with the Hive. Just so we can commit into Lurker Tech and Lurker upgrades. Otherwise, Rodzyn could snowball out of control, especially considering that his 4th base is soon to be back up and running, and we did maintain most of our probes, so we can resaturate. Rodzyn is still in this. Oh, that's a kill, not a cancel. Oh. 300 minerals down the drain. At the same time, Aristori, he's looking to try to cut Rodzyn up. He goes straight for the Nexus, but yeah, not going to be worth it. Bleeds out a lot of Lings. Hive is on the... Wait, what? Wait, what? Am I crazy? Did he cancel the Hive? No. Wait. Am I crazy? Was it not starting earlier? It just restarted. Wait, what? I'm losing my mind. As the Colossi pushing it forward, a lot of Hydra's going to be going down on the right-hand side, though. We do catch one a little bit exposed. But good control here from Rodzyn. He cleans up all those Hydras. He did, okay, he did cancel. That was a bit of a mistake there from Aristori. I don't think that was intentional. And with only Link Hydra, he's in a lot of trouble. And the Colossi, they're snowballing out of control. They swipe away at the Lings and the Hydras. All things Zerg melts here before the Colossi. And it looks like Aristori, he's not ready for this. Rodzyn has done it. GG gets called. We're going to the ace match. GG, well played. GG. Again, we spoke about that power spike. 4 Colossi is a terrifying thing, and if you don't have Lurkers or Vipers, you cannot stand up against that with only Ling Hydra. It's so difficult to pull that off. The only way to do it would be if you also had Banelings, and you could get maybe a 360 surround with Ling Bane Hydra, then maybe you can pull that off, but just a straight up fight, not gonna go the way of the Zerg. And again, if we want to be a little bit critical, initially it was a good attack from Aristori, killing the base and forcing back the army, but we needed Lurkers. We needed Lurkers for the counterattack. Aristori was a little bit greedy. If you remember, he delayed his Lurker Den, waiting for the Hive, instead of going for Lair Tech Lurkers. Lair Tech Lurkers, they don't sound amazing, but they keep you alive. They allow you to survive long enough to get into Hive Tech, to get into Vipers. The other option would have been a faster Hive as well, for just Vipers instead, if you want to stay on Ling Hydra. But as you saw there again, the Lunkers, they had their place, and it was a little bit too late for Aristori, and now we're getting into the ace match. Game 3, for the first time tonight. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Solaris. We have the red Zerg player representing Team Twisted Mind. It is Aristori. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have our purple Polish Protoss player representing Team Platinum Heroes, looking to make the non-stop PvP semifinals a reality. It is Rodzyn. Here we go. So we're getting into our openers, getting into our builds. As a reminder, the lower semifinals is going to be Cristiano versus Art. The upper semifinals is going to be Papi versus the winner of this series. So it's either going to be non-stop Protoss for top 4, or we could have a Zerg player in the mix as well. But it all comes down to this. It all comes down to Game 3. The ace match. Here we go. The giraffe dominance. Ah, the dominance, Papi. Walk all over us. But again, like, coming back to it, like, that was Aristori just being a little bit too greedy. Like, you can totally start up the lurker den at the same time that he started up his infestation pits. If he was willing to embrace, again, just lurkers a little bit early on. Did feel like Aristori was maybe thinking he was a little bit further ahead than he was, and that he could get away with delaying it a little bit. Obviously, the cancelled hive was a mistake, and with that, he could have gone into faster Vipers. I don't know if that would have been enough, just because Vipers take a long time to gather up energy. So it would have been close. Would have been very close, whether or not Aristori would have been able to finish up those Vipers in time and have them ready for the fight. Regardless, you know, we've got to shake it up and get into our next game. So far, standard openers. Gate expand into the cyber core here for Rodzyn. Likewise, hatch gas pool out of Aristori. No early gases, no early spawning pools. Everything is looking normal. And once again, Stargate opener. I mean, Rodzyn has been going for Stargate openers and triple Oracle every single game so far, and I imagine we're going to be seeing the same. Really, my eyes are on Aristori because he has been mixing it up. Game 1, Swarm Host. Game 2, Hydras. Game 3, Motas? What do we see in Game 3? We could go Ling Bane into Ultra. We could go Ling Roach into Muta. We have options. We have options here. I'm not too familiar with what Aristori enjoys doing. I'm not too familiar with his play style, so yeah, he's more of an enigma to me, so I'm ready for it. Ready to see what he has to offer. As opposed to Trifax, for example. Trifax we cast a lot more frequently. He's a lot more active in tournaments. Trifax is all about, like, 6/6 drone, like, just Roach Ravager. He's very fond of just amassing and getting into Ling Bane Roach Ravager in the mid-game. But last, we are still getting into this. Meanwhile, big shout out to Just Jordan in the chat. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great ladder session. I believe Jordan was covering the OSC Rising Cup or the Rising Tournament. Hold on. What was the name? Oh, sorry. OSC Elite Rising Star. That's it. The Rising Star. Hope you had a good time. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great tournament. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to the quarterfinals of the House Open Cup. Those that are curious, this is a Polish-only tournament. Only Polish players here. And I mentioned before that this event is a lot more up in the air because typically the dominant players in this tournament are players like a Laser, Spirits, Geralt. But those 3 players I just mentioned have been traveling to DreamHack Atlanta and traveling back from DreamHack Atlanta as well. And as a result, they're all missing. They're all taking a bit of a break, taking a bit of a rest after their long travels, after an intense weekend of StarCraft, which means this is anyone's game. This is anyone's tournament. Mainly Protoss, but and here we go. The Oracle's going to be diving on in. We do catch a couple of transferring workers. 3, 4. Oh my god, almost 5 drones go down. And we only lose shields. Good control here from Rodzyn. Behind this, getting his throw base up and running, and we have our transition. It is going to be a Robo into a Forge with a delayed Twilight Council. Okay, so a very... oh god, no! The Queens! They get in position. They almost shut down the Oracle. It's so close! As we find a couple of extra drones here, and the Oracles will escape. Just barely. But again, this is a delayed Twilight Council, so this is very tech-heavy. Essentially, Immortal production early on into +1. essentially, we will still be working towards charge and blink stalkers, don't get me wrong, but because we don't have them anytime soon, we're going to be staying back at home. This is a very tech-heavy and defensive style. Second Robo's on the way for double Colossus production. We're going to be turtling up, getting up to 4 bases, eventually towards Archons, Charge Lots, Colossus, Immortals, working up a death ball of an army, and then we push. So a very defensive style here from Rodzyn. He's being active with his oracles, yes, but he won't be active with much else. As he finds 2 more drones, still keeps all 3 oracles alive. Meanwhile, now we know what Rodzyn is up to. Aristori back at home, +1 melee. We are getting into Ling Bane, or I should say Ling Roach Ravager. No Baneling Nest yet. We are working towards a 4th base, and we are droning. We're droning up to around 66, which is 3 base saturation, but we are taking additional gases. We are taking additional bases as well. It looks like Aristori is going to be droning up to 4 base saturation. Looks like we aren't really concerned with hitting a strong timing yet. I'm still keeping my eye on the production tab. I'm still curious if we saturate this base or if we just double down and max out here and now, which is definitely possible. Okay, I'm making 2 Colossi at a time. I'm going to be making 2, then a 3rd and 4th behind this. So just building up that count. Eventually, we should already be seeing the Twilight Council at this point, and we're going for it. Oh god, we're going for some Dropper Lord play. Lings are moving out. Do pick off a couple of extra workers here at the 4th. Lings, they are going for a drop here towards that natural. We can see Aristori still droning, so he is not cutting workers. His worker count may be low. It is actually quite low, which is surprising, but we're still droning. The creep is looking good. His army has been revealed. We can see Rodzyn getting in position, more static defense. We can see cannons, shield batteries again. We're just turtling up hard. I think this is a bit of an oversight. We should 100% have the Twilight Council by now. It is missing. Again, even with double Robo play, we should have it by this point. And here we go. We have the drop into that natural base. Rodzyn, he does spot this ahead of time, though. He does warp in. There we go. Zealot Stalkers on the way. And there it is. Twilight Council now gets thrown down. I think he just noticed that he didn't have charge. Oh, good force fields. But I think he just noticed he didn't have charge, so now we do have it on the way. It is late. This is going to keep Rodzyn contained a little bit longer, as he is up to still 2 Colossi, and he's focusing on Immortal production at this point. Not getting up to a 3rd and 4th. We can maybe posture it, but we shouldn't really be pushing anytime soon. There's still no Warp Prism to reinforce. There's no, again, charge or even blink to support the army either. The creep is looking quite good here for Aristori, but his worker count is still very low. We're taking up to Hive Tech, but we're at sub 70 workers. Like, I'm not convinced. I do think that it's just taking a little bit too long to drone, especially considering how passive the Protoss player has been. We spoke about it, like, it's been very defensive here from Rodzyn, despite that Aristori's economy hasn't really been going yet. It's been taking a long time to really come into the swing of things, as now we're joining up to 72. We do have the Rich Resting Gas Geyser, which is helping. But it does feel like Rodzyn, he's... Again, the way to take advantage of this is to drone up hard, drone up to 80 as quickly as possible, get up to Hive Tech as quickly as possible, and get into Viper production. Well, good wiles. But it still feels like, again, we haven't really been able to take advantage of the Protoss here. Roachling counterattack breaking through towards the natural. We do have Immortals in position. We will hold. Good trades against the Zealots at least. And charge still on the way. We can see Rodzyn defending on both fronts. Without charge, he shouldn't be pushing. We still don't have a Warp Prism, I believe. Yeah, still no Warp Prism, so we're still just turtling. As we are committing a little bit harder, a drop into the natural. But we have eyes on this. So roaches are dropped in. At the same time, we do try to dive on top of the main army as well. Big stasis trap. 1 Colossus did fall. That's a lot of Immortals. We have to pull back to the shield battery. Our Narcon goes down. It feels like we're lacking supportive units here for Rodzyn. But there we go. We're warping in. We catch roaches. We clean up the drops. And we are transitioning into Sky Toss? Question mark? I believe We're still only on 1 Stargate, so interesting choice here. Vipers are on the way. Hive is done. So Roach, Ravager, Hydra can work well. Can work quite well here. This army from Rodzyn, very immortal heavy. It feels like we're still lacking zealots. I would love to see additional warpins. We're on 8 gateways. I do worry that these Vipers may go uncontested. It's going to be close here. It's going to be a dance between the spellcasters. We have a lot of High Templar, a lot of feedback, opportunity. Zealots get in. Zealots do get in. Vipers have been revealed. We yoink 2 of those Immortals already. Big pickups. Oh. 2 Immortals go down. At the same time, 18 drones. Oh my god. This is becoming far too much. Back at home, we have Site Defense. The drop does nothing. And 20 workers have gone down. Big storms as well. A decent feedback. The yoink does nothing. The Colossus does survive. Hey, who needs War Prisms? As we're going to be dropping into the main base instead, we do have a Void Ray, a handful of units to defend. Big storms! Massive storms here on the Ravagers. Vipers, they're out of energy, and it looks like Rodzyn, he's snowballing out of control. Again, he doesn't have a way to reinforce this on the front lines because he doesn't have that prism. But it may not matter. His base is close enough. We can reinforce in a matter of seconds. Does take some biles to the face. That one Colossus barely standing. Again, he's pushing in and he is outscaling Aristori. Roach Ravager is just not an ideal army composition. Not against this many Immortals. Yeah, we're breaking on through. And the PvP tournament, it's here. GG gets called. Rodzyn will snowball out of control. We'll take the series 2-1. And only Protoss remain. GG. Let's go. GG, well played. Rodzyn able to whip out a different style here on Solaris. Again, a very tech-heavy defensive style, just turtling up on 4 bases. And again, there are ways to punish this, but again, Aristori just, yeah, did feel a little bit tentative about droning up too much and about taking too much. He was kind of stuck on a bit of a subpar army, and it took him, we mentioned at the time, it did take a long time for him to really get into his economy and really be able to keep up with his opponent. GG, well played with that. A big shout out to Aristori. My condolences as he is going to be eliminated from the tournament, but some really fun games nonetheless. I mean, hey, he made Stormhost work. A lot of fun. Was a lot of fun to see that as we are getting into our first our first semifinals of the tournament. It is going to be Art versus Cristiano.